Hey folks, gonna do a little tackle crafting project I've been thinking about for a while. I got a couple of these new Chatterbait Elite EVOs that I like using them in white. I know when I was throwing the jackhammer, I throw the half-ounce white with the 7-inch scented jerk shad. I'm gonna do the same thing with these EVOs, but instead of the 7-inch scented jerk shad, I'll be throwing it with the pearl chatter spike. It's a more compact profile, but you know, I always like to do something a little bit different than most people do. There's a lot of bladed jigs out there. These fish are seeing a lot, and something that I can do that's a little bit different really relates to these bucktails I've been harvesting. So this one I actually got from Trey yesterday. His son harvested a deer and you know, threw it in the freezer, so I got this one still drying and salted up. This one's been drying for a while, and it's got those longer hairs that I want to replace this skirt. So let's go ahead and open this up, cut the skirt off. We're going to replace it with the white, you know, these longer strands of this white bucktail. If you've been watching my videos, you have seen that I've dyed them as well. This is one of the ones that I dyed, that real pretty kind of bluish green color. I mixed blue and green, but you know, for this project, I'm just going to use the white. So let's go ahead and pop open this EVO, Chatterbait Elite EVO. I did throw it the other day, not for very long, just wanted to get a feel for it, and I did notice that, you know, it feels a lot like a jackhammer. You got the wire in there. I guess I'm gonna have to untwist that. I was just gonna cut this off, but I think to get it real clean, I'm gonna have to pick that wire out. Let me go get some pliers and untwist that. But that's a nice design that, you know, is very similar to what we got with the jackhammer, that wire tied skirt. Got some needle nose. I'm just gonna grab that, and hopefully I'm twisting in the right direction. Things should loosen up if I am. All right, that is getting to the point where that skirt's gonna wanna loosen up. There we go. I got one end started, and yep, just falls right off. So this is what we got on the head. You can kind of see it's got these little things on the side, little indentation. Different head than the jackhammer. You got some of the weight back here, which is interesting. Still got your hook keeper, and I got a nice collar there to tie my bucktail on. So very cool. All right, let me pull the tail off the board here, and we'll get started with that tie. So I will point out, tails like this length hair is what I like for a jig. I intentionally did not dye this the way that I dyed these, because, you know, the white being long is good for that skirt material. This particular one had the right length for jigs. So I dyed that up. So it's a jig bucktail as opposed to, and in the past, I've never done this with a bladed jig, but I've done it with spinnerbaits. Spinnerbaits and the like this. Your bait fish profile, I like these longer hairs. So I will cut this as close in as I can, because the goal is to have a skirt that really flares out, and when you have that coming through the water, it's going to pull in like almost like a light bulb shape. And as that blade wobbles, what it's going to do is it's going to pulse that. But the tighter you can tie these long strands, which they're going to, like in the tackle box, it's going to look like a mess, a big old spread out umbrella. You get that in the water, it's going to be a fairly bulbous, big bait fish profile, and that's the goal here. But I need those longer hairs. Might as well pull that off, or maybe I wait till the end so I'm not tying. I got black thread. I think red would also be a good option here, but I think for the purposes of what I'm doing, you know, a lot of shad have that black spot, so I had black handy. It doesn't bother me that I'm tying a white skirt and using black thread. It also gives them a target, some contrasting thing near the head is a very good thing. I'm gonna get as much as I can in one good shot. So I'm sticking my finger in there, trying to separate the brown from the white. I don't want the brown in there. Yep. All right, that's a good big tuft of hair. Ooh, it's a lot. And I'm gonna pull that away. Make sure I don't have any brown. Get there as close to the hide as I can. And let the rest of that bucktail drop to the side. So you got it all lined up there. Oh man, that already looks really good. I'll flatten that. Now, the first step is just to get it on there. So I'm pointing the head in that direction. I'm going to overrun it, and that's fine. Looks like I've started wrapping in that direction towards you. So we're going to go like this, and it's on there sort of loose. And at this point, you know, we only have partial coverage. You see that part is bare, and what you want to do is kind of squish it without it kind of coming undone, because you lose track of this and it's gonna come out in all directions. But it's not real tight at this point. As we go, and you can see I just started tightening it a little bit more. You tug on that and it starts to flare out more. I'm gonna get a little further along. You know what? I've already messed up. That it actually scooted the whole thing in that direction because it is so much hair. So I'm gonna back this off and start over, and that's okay, because you can back it up and flatten it back out again. So let me go in this direction. Yep. Keep it close to the head. Yeah, with all that hair, it wants to squish in that direction. So we're gonna keep this wrapping. Let's see if we can keep it forward. I've done it twice, and each time it's squirting down. So I am gonna deviate from what I originally said and do this a little bit at a time. So I'm gonna separate it, take a smaller pinch, and get something on there to get it started, and I'll layer in more as I go. I think that with this particular head, which doesn't have a huge flare out, it's got a decent one, but I think that might be the right approach, just to keep it all on that collar. Yep, look at that. Now that settled in, and as I tighten it, that's what you want to see. So see how far, it's maybe not the best angle, but here's the shank of the hook, and see how high up it's going. That is what you want. I am tying with size A. I would recommend, I'd actually recommend that you tie with size D. Just a thicker, you know, the thicker thread allows you to really pull on it harder and get that hair to flare out even more. I'm not overly concerned with trimming these super close. So usually I jam some scent in there, and those short little stubble pieces in there. You see that? That holds scent pretty good. All right, let me add some more to that side. I'll probably do this in thirds, maybe quarter. We'll see how it plays out. But I definitely want all of this hair on there. I want a big, full, shad-looking body. We'll just lay that on there. We got that one groove. And look, it's laying flat, and then, ooh, it starts to flare out. Good, good, good. I think for the winter months I may be doing this with the big blade, because the big blade you can move real slow. In fact, I may go dig out some of those after I do these Chatterbait Elite EVOs. Get a big blade Chatterbait going for the winter months. When I've done this in the past, it's been short-armed, single size 4.5 Colorado, and that creates a great thump, and you can move it slow. You almost do it like it's a what do they call them, the tail spinners. It's the same blade. That blade, that single Colorado, has a good thump, as does the bladed jig, which gets their attention. So this one, you know, this is the last third, and I put a lot on there. This was probably the biggest batch, so I'm taking my thumb and pushing down and kind of letting it spread out on both sides of the ridge of this head so that I have even coverage. I don't want one side to have more hair from the other. The underside is actually looking pretty good. This last little bit is just filling in, and with this A thread I can't pull real crazy hard, but I want to pull hard enough. In fact, I'm gonna just make this safe for me to pull harder and put a couple of half hitches in now early, so that if I do break this size A, that I'm not in trouble. I'm not picking up a bunch of loose hair. So all right, I'm gonna get it on these last couple turns on the inside and on the back side, on where the hair is going to spread out, and just pull on that, and that again, tugging on that really flares it out and gives you a bigger bait fish profile. Okay, I think I'm happy with it. It is poofed way out. Look at that. That's going to give a good bait fish profile, especially once I get that chatter spike on the tail. So I will go ahead and do my couple half hitches and put the fly head cement on there, and this one will be ready to go. You can do this with spinnerbaits. The first hair I put on any wired bait was actually rabbit. I put on a 1/4 ounce buzz bait, and man, did that work. I kind of fold it over on the hook occasionally, but it really looked good in the water. I actually sold them for a period of time back in the riversmallies.com days. And it's been a while since I've tied a rabbit buzzbait, but it's a good looking bait. So, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna trim this, but not worry about it too much. If you really do want it to be clean, like super clean and not have any of those hairs, cut it close and then keep wrapping over it until you extend past the ends of these hairs. Just bury it. Just bury all those random hairs. It's hard getting the long ones that are in those divots. In fact, I think I'll do it just for the sake of showing something really clean for the video, and given that dark, you know, that target. Really, the contrast near the head is a target, and red is also an excellent contrast with white, red and white. I mean, think about how many baits have red and white. You know, the Daredevil spoon. I don't know. So many different baits are you know, red and white contrast. Topwater poppers that have that red on the you know, red on the gills, red on white. And the contrast is really just it's a target, you know. You know, when things are, I just broke it, but you can kind of see what I've done, and I'll finish that, and that just cleaned up the extra hairs. So, but yeah. A high contrast near the head gives them a target. They go for the head. That's why we put eyeballs on baits, and there's already an eyeball on that one, but you know, your wraps can also be that. If anyone has a trick for getting these things off consistently every time, please put it in the comments. I'd like to know. I struggle with these little red hook keepers. Or how do you get them off? You got a consistent way? Please comment. I also like to mash that chatter spike way up in there, because it's, you know, just like when we tied the hair tight to make it flare out, something pushing in from the back side here is going to do the same thing, give you a bigger baitfish profile. And yeah, it's on there straight, and man, I think that's gonna look good in the water. Let's go find out.